With only a month to go before facing Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather isn't lounging like a retired legend enjoying the spotlight. He's moving with the urgency of someone fighting to protect his legacy.
Jab with right hand. Drop.
Sit back. Come on, you shut me. He said, how you not comparing? I'm an old man. I'm an old man. Come on. So record the old man. Oh. Whoa. He turned it up now.
That flawless 50-0 record isn't just a number. It's a legacy that can't be erased. While people often fixate on the cars, watches, and flashy lifestyle, they assume the fire is gone. But underestimating Floyd that way would be a huge mistake.
Get back. Get back. Right to him, right to him, right to him, right to him. Catch it. Hit brother Frank. That's it, bro. I should. Right, that's it. Stop, man. Spit the rope. No. Spit that rope. Hachi. Rope.
He might pause to sip water, but there's never a real break, just a constant rhythm that builds what many fighters lose over time: elite conditioning. That's what most people overlook. Floyd never shows fatigue. Not in the later rounds, not under pressure, and not when chaos erupts. His footwork stays crisp, his reactions stay sharp, and his punches maintain the same snap as the opening bell, long after others start to slow. That level of consistency isn't by chance. It's forged in sessions like this, where fatigue is the opponent and he refuses to yield. While outside chatter fixates on spectacle, money, and headlines, Floyd remains locked in the gym, perfecting the one thing that has defined his career from day one: control.
Look right here. Right hand hook. Again. Look right here.
While Floyd meticulously works the heavy bag, treating every punch as part of a long-term conditioning strategy, Mike Tyson approaches the conversation with a different energy, one centered on results, intensity, and the raw unpredictability of the ring. When asked about cracking Floyd's shoulder roll, Tyson simply says, "Anything can happen." It's not complex, but it reveals the mindset of a pressure fighter. No formulas, just timing, awareness, and seizing the moment when the opponent falters. Even more telling, Tyson shifts focus away from the fight, talking about his invitational as if that's where his true attention lies now.
Six. Well, if you don't know, I want to tell everybody this. The last time I made 25 million, I made more, but last time I made 25 million was 10 years ago.
Wow.
I'm not bragging or boasting, I'm just telling the truth. I'm appreciative and thankful. $25 million is still great money.
Sure, sure.
But
it's not Mayweather money.
Well, you know, for the last, I don't know how many years, my guaranteed lowest is be like 32, a little bit over 32. That's my lowest. But you'll also know that in the Canelo fight, you know, I made over 100 million in that fight. And then in a Pacquiao, just in 2 fights.
Oh my God.
Pacquiao and Canelo, those 2 fights, somewhere upwards of 400 million. I mean, probably $400 million or better. And just me and sponsorship money. Leading up to the Pacquiao fight, that week I made somewhere 25 to 30 million.
Wow, that's crazy.
So these are my numbers. And, you know, they can say Floyd lying all they want to. If I was so desperate and hurting for money, I'll come back.
Tyson makes it clear his legacy is already secured, a chapter he's closed. Unlike most fighters who cling to that label, that self-awareness sets him apart. He then talks discipline, noting that today's gyms often lack the grind he knew so well, an insight that carries real weight coming from someone who trained relentlessly. Next, he addresses fear, not hype, not aggression, but nerves as part of the process. Top fighters aren't fearless. They perform despite it. The contrast is striking. Floyd meticulously builds precision, consistency, and conditioning, while Tyson leans on experience, unpredictability, and instinct. That clash of approach is exactly what makes this matchup so fascinating.
Phenomenal shape. You look shredded. You're supposed to fight Floyd next month, correct?
Yeah, next month from now, we're ready, whatever.
How do you beat the shoulder roll? He's 50 and 0.
Huh?
How do you crack the shoulder roll?
It happens, you never know. Hey, listen, I think this established my importance in the boxing world more so than the amateur, than the professional fighting, because this is the future. You know, Mike Tyson got a great name, and that's over.
Oscar de la Hoya shifts the focus with a calm, informed perspective, looking past hype to the mechanics of the sport. He frames the Mayweather-Pacquiao rematch as primarily entertainment, calling it as it is, no exaggeration. Yet he adds nuance. If the fight follows proper rules and is a genuine contest, it carries real significance for boxing. When he leans toward Floyd as the likely winner, it's not emotion driving him, it's consistency. De La Hoya highlights Floyd's discipline, his constant conditioning, and his sharpness, showing why the undefeated champ remains a formidable presence.
Guys, one last question, okay?
What part fear plays in the career of the fighter?
Well, if you're not crazy and you're doing this, you're insane, okay? So I worry about guys that are not nervous before fighting, because they'll never be a great fighter. Because when you're scared, you avoid pain, you avoid getting hit. And if you're one of those guys that have no fear, you're gonna constantly get hit. And you're not gonna end the game finish. By the time you finish fighting, you'll be talking another language. And that's what happens to those tough guys. And at the end of their career, they're speaking another language.
At this point, Floyd's disciplined training starts to click. It's a deliberate, consistent approach, not random effort. Oscar then shifts to Pacquiao, balancing respect with realism. He notes this isn't the same fighter Floyd once faced, a subtle but important observation. Next, he addresses Deontay Wilder, acknowledging his extraordinary power but questioning his activity level, noting many modern fighters compete less often. Finally, Oscar broadens the lens to boxing as a whole, highlighting how today's fighters pace their careers differently. His perspective stands out because he seamlessly blends experience, business insight, and a holistic view of the sport.
Back, who do you think would win it? If it's a real fight, because that's what Pacquiao wants, it seems.
Yeah, I think Mayweather will. I think Mayweather will take it. Yeah, one thing about Mayweather you have to understand is he's always taking care of himself. Like his body, physically, mentally, he's always been very sharp and always staying in the gym and doing something physically, right? That's the big advantage he has. I mean, he's an athlete. He's a he's a world-class athlete. You know, watching Pacquiao's last fight, yeah, you kind of feel.
Oscar steps back. Dan Rafael steps in with a more analytical take. He frames the rematch as entirely predictable, cutting through fan surprise. He shifts the discussion from sport to product. This isn't for hardcore boxing analysts, but for casual viewers scrolling Netflix, choosing entertainment. This reframes the conversation. It's less about competitiveness and more about global brand recognition, where names like Mayweather and Pacquiao still carry immense weight.
You know, even though he did win and he did, I guess, pull off a surprise in his last fight with a draw against the world champion, but still you tend to kind of like feel bad because it's not the same Pacquiao. You know, it's definitely not the same Pacquiao I faced. That's for sure. The one that you know, put me on my stool in the 9th round. But I still think that Mayweather will pull this one off. I mean, if it does happen.
Dan also points out that while the original Mayweather-Pacquiao fight broke records, today the goal isn't new records, it's capturing attention. He uses an MMA example with Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano to show that familiar names drive audience engagement, even if fighters aren't at their peak. This highlights a key psychological insight. Viewers are drawn to recognizable names and the curiosity they spark. Even hardcore boxing fans who critique matchups still watch. They argue, they question, but they don't tune out. By framing it from a 2026 perspective, Dan emphasizes business, audience behavior, and how boxing continues to evolve rather than just reliving the past.
Likes to see what's on a weekend night. They're going to look and say, oh, Mayweather, Pacquiao, I know those guys. They're as famous as any boxers in the world. And if it doesn't cost me any extra money and I'm just paying my normal subscription, yeah, I'll check it out. And it's going to do big numbers. That's why Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson did the numbers it did. And that's why, you know, we saw them be interested in a fight like Jake Paul against Anthony Joshua and the other events that they have done. Tyson Fury's comeback as they try to, you know, build up more in the UK. And this is going to be the same.
When you step back, it's clear this isn't just a single fight. It's multiple realities colliding. Floyd is in the gym, precise and focused, treating his 50-0 record as a legacy to protect. Tyson brings raw, instinctive energy, relying on chaos and pressure to disrupt structure. Oscar de la Hoya grounds things, reminding everyone this is also a business where discipline and consistency matter more than hype. Then Dan Rafael adds another layer.
Mayweather had a tough life.
This isn't just for hardcore fans. It's a global spectacle designed to capture attention, spark curiosity, and entertain, not necessarily to showcase perfection. The takeaway? This fight blends legacy, financial drive, discipline, unpredictability, and entertainment. It will be debated and analyzed endlessly, but everyone will watch. That's modern boxing, complex, unpredictable, and impossible to ignore.
Fight, but not as much as what obviously they generated in 2015. And, you know, it'll be a big event, but how much of a fight it will be, who the heck knows? But I mean, to answer the question, I'm not like looking forward to it, but it's one of those things that, you know, you got to write about, you got to cover, and you got to, you know, be involved in because it's still two of the greatest.
Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who has the edge? Floyd's precision and control, or Tyson's raw, unpredictable power? Is this a true fight or just the biggest spectacle of the year? And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Vibe for more updates and breakdowns.
For millions of people who are going to tune in to watch Pacquiao Mayweather. Again, it is not being put on Netflix for you or me or the folks that watch Boxing Social or all the diehards. It's for
casual
me and my reaction to the announcement of that MMA fight they're doing. And that was my epiphany.
Spot on.
Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think this favors, Floyd's control or Tyson's chaos? And do you see this as a real fight or just the biggest spectacle of the year? Yo, don't ever forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Headquarters. See you in the next one.